Hey, what's going on, everybody? Manny here once again. Welcome to DFS Zone. I have a new video for you, but before I get started, I appreciate you guys drop a like. If you're new to the channel, it's your first time here, have not seen any of my videos before, the only thing you need to do to be a part of the community and get access to the videos here at DFS Zone is to become a subscriber to the channel. So if you haven't done so already, make sure before you go, you subscribe down below. Make sure you also put on your post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. With that being said, today is Wednesday. It is March the 27th, 2019, and we have a 5-game slate in the association. And of course, the new news is tomorrow MLB season begins. There will be MLB videos. I will be covering Major League Baseball as well as WNBA moving forward in the next maybe 2 months from now. There will be some WNBA. So if you're looking to get that kind of content on a regular basis, make sure if you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet that you do so down below, and don't forget to put on that bell icon like I said, because this way you don't miss out on any of those videos when I first post them up. And that's basically it. A little bit of injury news before we actually go over the slate. Mike Conley is a game time decision today. If he is out, again, we all know Dorsey, Wright, guys like Justin Holiday have been getting the minutes, getting the bumps in the minutes and usage. Those are the guys you should target. Chicago Bulls have Chris Dunn, a game time decision. If he doesn't go, Arcidiacono obviously more than likely will play the point, and then you got guys like Shaq Harrison playing maybe the two guards. Some Blakeney will get some minutes as well. Lauri Markkanen, game time decision as well. If he happens to be out for the Bulls, then you're looking at Wayne Selden's been getting a bump in minutes. Felicio has been getting some minutes as well and getting a little bit of a run. Those are the guys you can actually look for in that spot for Markkanen. The Indiana Pacers, Darren Collison is a game time decision. But at the moment, just prior to doing the video I last checked, there is a good chance he will play. Josh Jackson, game time decision for the Phoenix Suns. If he doesn't go, obviously Rashard Holmes is in play. You could also consider a little bit of time and minutes for Dragan Bender. As far as any games to target today, for me, it's Washington, Phoenix all the way. Washington is favored by 2.5 with a 231 implied total on the road going to visit Phoenix. It is the game to target. I mean, you want to have the games that have the most exposure as far as getting fantasy points, and you got two monsters in Beal and Booker going up against each other, and they smashed one another the last time, I think for 61 and 71 or something like that each. So hopefully they'll have some fireworks like that again today. All right, as you can see, my weapon of choice for my research weapon of choice, like usual, Draft Dashboard. I'll be utilizing it as well for MLB. If you're not have not used Draft Dashboard before and you want to be able to get your research time done a little quicker with all the general information, the most important information you can possibly find for your lineups, Draft Dashboard is the place to be. All right, we have here the defensive ranking, DVP rankings, the players. You have here also the price of the game, the implied totals, the price for them on FanDuel as well as DK, the price that they are for the day here on FanDuel, fantasy points per game, the minutes to usage, what they have done against the opponents over the last few games, the projected points, the value, ownership, points per minute, and the hit percentage, how often they hit value at that particular price tag during the course of the season is here as far as a percentage, on top of all the other features you see on the left-hand side. Top players for today, NBA cheat sheet. If you want to just even narrow this down and just put in a very little time because you're so busy, you could definitely go right to the NBA cheat sheet. You got the sleepers and studs, player trends, and you got the lineup optimizer where you'll be able to take your players that you put in your own custom player pool and put them in their lineup optimizer and spit out one lineup, two lineups, whatever, and multiple lineups, whatever you want to do. You'll be able to do there. You'll be able to change players and find value as you go, as you make changes in your lineups as well. So, and you can even save the lineup. So a lot of great features here all in one place. On top of that, you will have access to my own player pool by clicking in the link in the description of the video down below. So all you guys, as you can see right now, my watch players, this is only 10. If you're new watching this video for the first time, it's not going to be 10 players I'm only looking at for this 5-game slate. There will be more players added, and there'll be updates throughout the day according to news, injuries, whatever, because with the NBA, you know how that is. So you got to come and check back, throughout the course of the day, and especially before lock, because by then I will lock in and put the final players that I think are the best possible plays that I'm looking at for today's slate, and you'll be able to do that. And the beauty of it, if you start utilizing the software, you're going to, as of tomorrow, you're going to have access also to my MLB watch players list as well as my NBA. And granted, if I do videos for MLB or NBA, just want to make a quick note, there will always be players in the player pool if I were not able to do a video on a given day. Don't worry about it. There will be stuff there. So if you're following along and you're looking to get some advice and look at my players list to match up what you have, definitely there will be some information there for you. So always remember that. That's always going to be there. All right. So again, if you want access for this, 30 days, $1, man, right here, right now. Click on the link in the description of the video and come aboard to Draft Dashboard and follow me along for the ride. All right. Let's go. All right, let's get to it. At point guard today, Damian Lillard is up here at the top. I do like out of the top studs at the top at point guard, Damian Lillard is in play. Granted, no C.J. McCollum, bumping usage. No Nurkic now, bumping usage. When those two guys are off the floor, he gets easily an 8-9% usage bump. So he's going to be at over 30% easily today. As far as usage is concerned, he's going to have to take a bulk of the shots. Granted, he's going to have some guys, and I really truly believe for Portland, this opens up the doors for a number of guys. I do like Seth Curry a whole lot here now. He's going to get a bump. I do love Zach Collins coming off the bench and teaming up with Cantor. I think that's going to work out great. And I also think Mo Harkless is someone that's going to get quite a bit because he's going to have to rebound and do some dirty work. So as well, all these guys are going to get a big bump, but obviously the most important player here is Damian Lillard. So Lillard is in play, 11,000, a little pricey, but he should be able to get 55 or better in this game to meet value. So I am okay with sticking him in some of my lineups. Now I make multiple lineups. I'm a GPP player. I'm not saying to go ahead and throw Damian Lillard in there. I think that he is an option. So if you want to pay up for a guard here on FanDuel, I think he's okay. If you want to pay up for him on DK, I think he's okay too at that $700 reduction there. So, but he's gonna be someone that's gonna be pretty much getting a ton of work. So I wish him a lot of luck. I think he could definitely get it done and get Portland to win some games here without those two other guys. Coming down here, a guy that I'm going to be targeting is not on my watch players list right now. I think Ricky Rubio is someone to consider here. 6,800 on FanDuel. You need 34 to meet value on DK. He is 5,600, only need 26, and he's averaging 28. Now, granted, the minutes have been down just slightly a little bit lower than his average of 28. But he hasn't had to play a whole lot of minutes because they've been just beating up on almost everybody they play nowadays. And again, this is the situation today. Utah is favored by 15 at home. A little scary situation. LA coming in. They played last night. They're on the front end of a back-to-back. Then they got to go over now to Utah, who's been playing probably the best defense that they have played all year long. The other thing about Utah is that everyone on their team, pretty much all their top players, are healthy. And that is a scary thought right now, going in further into the latter part of the season now and going into the playoffs. This team was pretty tough defensively last year, throughout the year, including the playoffs. They even upped their level of play in the playoffs, and now they're starting to get that going now. So that's the only concern, is the possible blowout here. But if LA could find a way to keep this game close and LJ plays, let's say LeBron James does play, because there's a potential, it could be a possibility he may not play because he doesn't have to play on a back-to-back with the season pretty much over. Ricky Rubio, that will not be a great play then. But right now, Ricky Rubio, I do like him. I think he's someone to consider. LA 25th overall defense, 22nd defending point guards, and they've been allowing 39.3 fantasy points per game. I do like the matchup. Fox put a 41, D. Russell put a 46, Bledsoe put a 42, all in the last 3 out of the last 4 games. So Ricky Rubio in a good spot. There's other guys that I think are guys you can consider. Guys like Satoransky could be someone that you could. But I'm going to come down. Seth Curry, Damian Lillard, and Seth Curry. Seth Curry's going to step up here. He's going to get a bump in usage and minutes. There's no doubt about it. And he's playing well enough right now to earn that opportunity to do that. As you can see, he's only averaging 18 minutes per game. But as you can see, since CJ has been gone, 28 to as high as 40 minutes, and he's been putting up 24 or better fantasy points over the course of the 3 games. So he's playing fantastic. For the price tag of $4,900, he's up in price, and rightfully so. But at the same time, he is going to get the time on the floor, and he's going to get a great opportunity, a great three-point shooter, a great free throw shooter. There's a lot of opportunity here for Seth Curry, and I think he knows it, and he's going to relish it. So Seth Curry, to me, is definitely someone I'm considering in this slate today. Granted, you see 10% and 15%. You can't even gauge that, folks, because this is a guy that wasn't playing as many minutes. He hasn't been at this price tag, probably not even more than once this year. This is probably the first time this whole year he's been at 4,900. So you can't gauge it on this. This is more probably projecting going back from last season. So as far as right now, Seth Curry at that price tag, I'm okay with it. As long as he's getting the minutes, he's getting usage, he's getting shot opportunities, and he's putting up 24 fantasy points or better, I think he could definitely meet value and possibly even smash. So Seth Curry is in play for me. Chicago is 24th overall and 26th in defending point guards. They've been allowing 32.5 fantasy points per game. They did give up 23 to Rubio, 38 to Sandaransky, and 34 to Fox over the last 4 games. Again, I think he gets a huge bump with the loss of Nurkic as shooting guard, and it's among others. There are going to be other players added to this player pool. What happened here? Let's do this again. Okay, shooting guard. Let me just wait on this. Sorry, guys. So at shooting guard at the top, I do like Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. These guys, as you can see here, 61 the last game against Washington, and Beal outshot him and put up 71. I don't think they're going to go for those numbers again, but anything is possible. This is why the games have to be played. This is why nothing's guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen. So again, when we look at the matchup, they should probably both ball out again. They're going to go at each other. I could just see them wanting to compete against one another and see who's going to put up the more points. But Booker's been playing well, and he also is playing at home. So I do like Devin Booker here a whole lot, especially the DK price of $9,200. He is $1,500 cheaper on DK at 10.7. Okay, maybe sprinkle him in a couple quarter GPPs on FanDuel if you can find value in a number of other areas, and there's some value out here on the slate. You could throw in a Devin Booker if you really feel he's going to get you 55, 60. You need 53 there to meet value on DK 9,200. You only need 46, and I think he definitely can get you 46. He's put up 52 plus in 2 straight games, and look at the minutes and look at the usage. That is ridiculous. It is through the roof. So I expect him to still take a ton of shots, make this into a game. So Devin Booker for me is in play. 22% of the time he's hit value at 10.7. But again, how often has Devin Booker been 10.7? So I'm not going to base it on that. I'm going to go with the 42% on DK and say to myself, he has an opportunity. If you're going to base it over the last 2 games or in the last 5 games, Devin Booker should be at 10,000 and change. And he should be able to meet value, and that percentage should be higher. But because he hasn't been priced at 10,007 often, you really can't go with that. So remember, sometimes you got to, we know that. We haven't seen Devin Booker at this price. So 10,007, again, I'm okay with it. DK 9,200, I'm okay with it. Also, Washington 26 overall defense, 21st defending shooting guards, allowing you only 25.5, all right? But again, they gave up 41 in the last game to KCP of the Lakers, 27 to Waiters, 28 to Gary Harris over the last 3 games, and now you got to deal with Devin Booker, who has just been balling his butt off. So I like Booker a little bit more than Beal, just simply because he is at home and he's taking a lot more shots and he's doing a lot more for his team. At the moment, over the last couple of games, I think Beal is starting to get a little run down here. Donovan Mitchell is in a great spot as well. Donovan Mitchell, 9,000 on FanDuel, needing 45 on DK. He's 7,900, need 39. He's averaging 37. He's put up a 48 spot 3 games ago. He's in a favorable matchup here going up against the Lakers. 27, 26 minutes. Haven't had to play a whole ton of minutes because, again, like I said before, with Ricky Rubio, they just didn't have to play that many minutes because they've been beating everybody up. Again, be careful with today's slate. I'm not sure if I'm going to still go with Donovan Mitchell in some of my lineups. I think I will still have exposure, but again, not have exposure to all the entire Utah team. I don't think team stacking these guys is the right thing to do. I think you can go 2 guys or you can go 1 guy. If you do multiple lineups, spray them around, and sprinkle them in 4 lineups, sprinkle 1 in each lineup, something like that. But I think he's in a favorable matchup. As you can see, he beat up on LA the last time, 57. Again, he's also at home. They play really, really well at home. 34% of the time he's hit value at 9K and 51% that he has hit value at that $7,900 price tag, which is really a great price tag for Donovan Mitchell in a game like this. So I do like Donovan Mitchell as someone to consider if you're not going up with if you're not taking Booker. LA 25th overall defense, 29th defending against point guards, and they've been allowing 27.5 fantasy points per game. They did give up 42 to Beal last game, 33 to Joe Harris. and 29 to Buddy Hield over the last 3 games. So Donovan Mitchell in play among others. Obviously, I do plan to have some exposure. If Mike Conley's out, I will probably have a little bit of Wright or possibly a little bit of Dorsey. You got to consider those two, or even a Justin Holiday. As you can see, they're playing really huge minutes. You got to definitely consider those guys. A Wayne Selden is someone you can consider as well for Chicago. So there is some value. Even a Troy Daniels. He plays enough minutes, but he's not a good point per minute player. So that's the only concern with Troy. But if you want that value play or that drop spot pump play, he is definitely someone to consider as well. All right, let's move on. Small forward. All right, at small forward, we got LeBron James at the top, Paul George. Paul George, if this game was in Indiana, I'll be a little bit more pumped up, and I think he will be a little pumped up more as well because this is his former organization, the Indiana Pacers. But he is playing at OKC. I do expect him to still put up 50 or better. I really think that he can get you 50, even though he's at 10-4. It is a tough matchup. Indiana is pretty good against, opposing small forwards, as you can see, number 1 in the league. But he did put up 52 the last time he played against them, so you got to keep that in mind. But what stands out for me here is Kevin Durant under 10,000. Granted, he has not looked good. He has not played well in about 7 or 8 straight games, but he's still getting more than enough minutes. His usage is still going to be fairly high. He's in a good matchup here. I can't see who's going to defend him. I mean, is Bruno Caboclo going to be able to stop Kevin Durant, who's been playing the 3 spot for Memphis? I don't think so. I don't think Chandler Parsons is going to come off the bench and be able to defend him either. So I think out of all the Golden State Warriors, he has one of the better matchups other than Draymond Green, as far as in my opinion. So Kevin Durant is someone that I got to have some exposure to today at 9,004 on FanDuel. You need 47 on DK. He's only 8,700, under $9,000 for Kevin Durant. Is pretty much a steal. Granted, he has not looked good, but at some point or another, he's going to have a big game, and this is a perfect matchup for him to do that. All right, it's a perfect matchup for him to do that because I just can't see who's going to stop him, but the game and the ball has to revolve around him for that to happen. As you can see, 38 spot in the last time he played Memphis, 41 and 45 the prior games. He is projected to put up 46 fantasy points today at 11% ownership. 51% of the time, he has hit that $9,400 price tag. He has smashed that 64% of the time at that $8,700 price tag. I'm willing to take a stab on Kevin Durant. Durant going up against Memphis. They're 12th in defending small forwards, and they've been allowing 27.2 fantasy points per game. They did give up 50 to Paul George, 27 to Wiggins, and 29 to Jonathan Isaac over the last 3 games. I do think Kevin Durant has a shot here. Other than Kevin Durant, I'm going to come down to the Portland team, and Mo Harkless is definitely someone that I got to consider. Now, granted, Bridges here, with the amount of minutes he plays, he could be someone you can consider at 5,500. I like these 2 guys more so than paying up for either Green or paying up for Bojan Bogdanovic in his matchup against OKC. But Mo Harkless here, again, no nurturing. Somebody's going to have to step up and get some more rebounding. So this is where him, Collins, and Cantor come into play. I do believe he has a shot to do very well here. 5,400, I'm okay with that on FanDuel. He is capable of getting you 30 or better, so he should be able to meet value in this matchup here. He did put up 33 in his last game in 39 minutes. He's going to get the minutes. You can see his minutes are up in the last 3 alone, just with C.J. McCollum out. This is going to definitely stay in that 30. I expect him to still play 30 minutes or better from this point on forward, the longest he is healthy. And he is capable of getting you 1 fantasy point per minute. As you can see, $1,100. At $5,400, you pretty much need from him only 26 or 27. On DK, he's $4,300, and I'm okay with sprinkling him in on DK as well. That is an awesome price for Mo Harkless here. He's averaging 19, but as you can see, 25, 23 or better over the last 3. The minutes are there, 25 or more, and as you can see, the usage rate is slightly climbing up. 13 here, 15% from a 13 average. And I think it's just going to definitely increase here a little bit more. Granted, hasn't played much against Chicago, but this is going to be a day that he's going to get to play, and I think he's going to do very well here. So Mo Harkless is in play for me. 5,400, do like him here. He's going up against Chicago. They are 5th in defending small forwards and allowing 25.6 fantasy points per game. Kawhi Leonard put up 44. Shaq Harrison put up 36 and 28 in 2 games respectively, so that's about 31, 32 fantasy point average in 2 games in a back-to-back scenario. And Joe Ingles put up 27. This is all in the last 4 games. Again, there's some other guys you can consider here, but I like Mo Harkless. Power forward at the top, Do like Derek Favors. Like I said, I do like everybody in the Utah team other than Joe Ingles in his matchup. And that all depends if LeBron James is playing. If LeBron has been playing the 4, so it'll be a tougher matchup for Derek Favors as well. But I think because of the rebounding skills and what Derek Favors brings to the table, he could be someone to consider. But I'm not going directly to him. I think I do like the 2 Indiana guys, Sabonis and Thaddeus Young, 6,300 and 6,200. Sabonis is a better point per minute player, as you already can see, 22 and 22, and he's put up 34 and 24 and 39, all one more, like 1 to 1.2 to as much as 1.3 fantasy points per minute. So Sabonis is a better point per minute player than Thaddeus Young, even though Thaddeus Young does play more minutes. But granted, Thaddeus Young starts and Sabonis comes off the bench. So either or, you can even put these 2 guys together today. I'm okay with it at 63 and 62, or you play one or the other. I'm okay with it. I will have exposure to both. I just don't think you can put Sabonis in your DK because he is the same price at 6,300. So he's more of a FanDuel play. But $6,200 and $600 cheaper on DK for Thaddeus Young is very much doable on DK at 50. That puts him at 5,600. So you only need 26, and he's averaging nearly 29. And as you can see, 26 or better in the last 3. The minutes are there as much as 32 minutes a game. He's averaging 31 minutes a game. And, the usage is up and down a little bit. But again, he did put up 28 against these guys and a 54 prior to that. The fact is that he's lefty brings a lot of, he's more physical as far as under the boards. And what I like is also he stretches out the floor. He can shoot the 3-pointers. He can shoot from the perimeter. And that's something that will hurt a little bit Jeremy Grant, as well as the physicality that Sabonis brings in there also coming off the bench. So I like those 2 guys. You could go Aminu here with Portland as well, but I do like Zach Collins a little bit more because he plays. It seems like he has a good rapport right now on the floor with Cantor. So Aminu can be an option, but I do like these guys better. But again, going back to the Sabonis and Young, they're 15th defending against OKC's 15th defending power forwards, and they've been allowing 34 fantasy points per game. I do like them a whole lot. Kabakalo put up 45 against them, 36 and 61 respectively by Siakam in back-to-back games, and 33 by Kelly Olynyk in the last 4 games. So I think Sabonis or Young, one of the 2, you can definitely pencil in, and you can even go with either one of the 2. Other than that, I do like Zach Collins as well. I think Zach Collins you got to consider at $4,800. He's $800 cheaper on DK. At $4,800, you only need 24 on DK. $4,000, you only need 20. He's averaging 15, and as you can see, 17 and 20 just in the last 2 games. And this is going to increase, because he seems to play well with Cantor, and Cantor is going to start. So I could see Collins and him definitely getting a little more physical. Collins getting some more rebounds. They're going to need the rebound. It's just where him and Mo are going to be able to excel a little bit more. He did put up 38 against Chicago the last time he played them. And look at his usage over the last 3 games. 23, 24, 27, as much as 27% for a guy coming off the bench. I do like him a whole lot in this matchup, man. And, yeah, so, again, Zach Collins in play for me, man. He's going up against Chicago. They are 26 in defending power forwards, and they've been allowing 26.4 fantasy points per minute to opposing power forwards. We go over to center, and as you know, I'm staying right there with Portland. We know the deal already. I already told you guys that for me, these 2 guys stand out the most. Rudy Gobert at the top if you want to pay up at center. Obviously, like I said, if you're going to go Gobert, go maybe Ricky Rubio, Gobert, and do not play any of the other Utah players. You got to be careful here because of the possibility of it being a blowout. But Rudy Gobert in play. He's 10,000 on FanDuel. You need 50. He's capable of getting 50 on this team. But I do believe his best play is on DK. He is $1,800 cheaper on DK. He's only $8,200. You only need 41. He's averaging 40, pretty much almost 42, and he's put up 44 plus in the last 2 games. Still playing anywhere between 26 to as much as 31 minutes. Usage rate is still over. It's actually been trending upward, if anything, 23 and 26% over the last 2 games. Did put up 47 against the Lakers the last time he played against them. And again, that price tag of $8,200 on FanDuel, on DK is definitely very doable. 54% of the time he smashes that price tag. So again, Rudy Gobert in play for me on DK. If you're not on, and he's going up against the Lakers, they're 27th in defending centers, and they've been giving up 36.7 fantasy points to opposing centers as of late. Gobert put up 58 the last time against them, 61 by Ayton and Oh, so I'm reading the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. The Lakers are 27th, and they've been allowing 36.9. They gave up 31 to Willie Cauley-Stein, 60 to Brook Lopez, and 47 to DeAndre Jordan, and 53 to Drummond over the last 5 games. All right, so if you're not on Gobert, you don't want to pay up $8,200 for him. Come down and pay $5,000 on DK or $6,500 on FanDuel. I think on FanDuel, he's going to be highly owned. There's no doubt about it. Granted, he's going to need to go out there and play maybe 30 minutes, maybe even more, depending on how the game goes. But Cantor is in play. 6,500. You know I'm a Knicks fan. For those who've been following me, I always said this guy's a point-per-minute player. If the Knicks allowed him to play consistently, he would have been able to put up 40 or 45 or more fantasy points per game every single game, even at 20 or 25 minutes from the floor. But he was not getting 25 minutes. He wasn't getting any minutes. And another thing that's beautiful about this whole thing for Cantor is that, granted, Nurkic went down, and he's going to get an awesome opportunity. You could just imagine how he feels right now, that he's got to step up and be the guy to fulfill Nurkic's shoes, or go into and play well enough to be able to, and he is capable of it. Another thing also, he's very fresh. He has no injuries. He hasn't had to play a whole lot of minutes this year, so he should be ready to go to play these very big games here now and in the playoffs. I wish Cantor a whole lot of luck. Enjoy the ride, my friend. But 6,500, you need pretty much 32 to me value on DK. He's 5K, you need 25. He's averaging 28. And as you can see, 21 to 29 in the last 3, and all that was at least at 1.1, 1.2 fantasy points per minute. So you know this is going to get a bump. He's going to get more uses. He's going to get more minutes. He's going to get more opportunities. I could see him getting 40, 45 easy in this matchup today against Chicago if the game stays close. As you can see, 39% of the time he smashes 6,500. 66% of the time he smashes that $5,000 price tag. So, again, I'm okay with him on FanDuel, 6,500. They did price him up a bit much, but FanDuel always does that. Granted, they do that also because it's a $60,000 budget as opposed to $50,000, so always keep that in mind too. But also because it's a 5-game slate, and because also there is no Nurkic, and they know that he's going to play 30 minutes or better. But again, his ownership projection is going to be high. You could eat the chalk tonight. You could pencil in some Cantor. I'm okay with it. Again, if you wanted to get away from Cantor, there are some other options, all right? And that's pretty much where I'm at. That is pretty much where I'm at. So, and going back to Cantor, Chicago 26 against centers and allowing 36.7 fantasy points per game. They did give up 58 to Gobert, 61 to Ayton over the last 4 games. So, again, stay tuned. Watch along throughout the day. There'll be some other players added here. Other than that, man, I wish you guys a lot of luck. I'll be back with another NBA video tomorrow, also MLB tomorrow as well. Again, if you want to have access to this and have access to my player pool, make sure that you subscribe down below to the Draft Dashboard. The link is in the description of the video down below. Click on that, sign yourself up, and let's get busy and let's make this money, all right? God bless. I'll see you guys tomorrow.